Hello. So today's project, we're not going to really build or install anything. Today we're going to do some adjustments on an existing stereo system that we installed several years ago. So we picked up a couple of new tools here, distortion detector, DD1, and then we also have a crossover calibrator. So these devices should help us electronically set the amplification, ensuring that we're not sending any distorted signals to our speaker sets, and then also clearly adjust where our crossover bases might be. So we'll be working on an old system here that we put into this truck quite some time ago. We've got a Rockford Fosgate amp here, punch series. The second one over there, one's running 4-channel amp, running all the door speakers that have been upgraded to vocal audio. And of course we have a JL Audio pancake sub here, a couple of built-in crossover scenarios, etc. So stay tuned as we step into this project. So we'll start just by doing the distortion detection. This unit here is actually pretty simple, just read through the instructions. I think if you follow the step-by-step instructions, it's a pretty simple process. We'll get the amplifiers and systems set up so we can connect up to them quite easily. Make sure we disconnect all of our outputs, so all of our speakers will be disconnected. You don't want all that distortion or that high volume that you've got to follow when you're running this process going out to your speaker sets. That's the whole intention of this, is to prevent damage to the rest of the equipment. So I'll give a bit more detail as we start into the process here shortly. All right, for starters, we went ahead and made sure that all of our settings in our head unit are set to flat, turning off the graphic EQs, turning off any boosters, turning off any high pass, low pass filters, etc. So that's done now. Also, we jumped around back here and connected the line ends to the amplifiers. So line in on the amp is disconnected here as well as over there. I went ahead and flagged one set just so that I remember where they went. I took a couple of pictures as well, so I remember where they were connected. Don't spend a lot of time rechasing wires. Next step, get this joker hooked up, and we're going to test. There's two methods to test distortion. The first method is directly from the head unit and just connect up to these RCAs. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to connect this unit up to one of the RCAs and then run through the process. And the best or recommended method is to actually test it through the amp. So for my purposes, since this is the first time I've used this device, I'm going to try both. I'm going to start just testing the head unit and see what its max volume is before it goes into distortion mode, and then I'll hook up and try through the amp and see what the results are. So it's pretty simple. Pop in the CD. So the unit comes with a CD. Play track 1 and fire it up. This unit here will start to detect the signal, and then of course let you know when it's hit the particular hertz level, 40 hertz in this case, associated with track 1. And then just push the volume up on the head unit until you see a distortion level. So right now I'm at volume, let's see, so 39 on this unit is clean. So there's no distortion detected. But see the red light come on the top, distortion detected at 40. So in fact 40 is the max for this head unit, and 39 it's clean from the unit, so that's good. All right, so second test, you jump to track number 2, which is going to test 1000 hertz detection, and then it'll look for distortion. In fact, with this head unit I can go full max all the way up to 40 and not receive any distortion on the 1000 hertz. The 40 hertz, 39 is the max. So the instructions say to average the 2, and that's pretty much your max volume from the head unit. So for me, that's going to be 39. Just out of curiosity, my head unit actually has a front and a rear and a sub output. So I started with the sub output, and then I went ahead and tested all the other outputs from the head unit. Results are the same. So head unit is good to max volume is 40, but I do start to see some distortion. So 39 is the max volume that we should run this system at. We'll check it again now as we pass through the amplifier, but that'll take a little bit of setup. I've got to pull the covers off, disconnect some wiring, and then test. So we pulled the speaker connections loose. This particular system on the fronts, there's a crossover provided by Focal that splits the doors from the tweets. So we just pulled that input speaker lead out, so that'll be based off of the amplifier coming out. So we got that on both sides. And then for the rears, we went ahead and disconnected both rears from the amp so that we're not sending any signals, and we'll do the testing directly at the amplifier here. We've gone through and set everything basically flat, or minimum as far as the volume or gains are controlled, let's say. So all the gains are set down as low as they'll go, and everything else is set to flat. We'll start the same procedure all over again and see the results. So I didn't film a lot during this activity. I should have filmed a bit more, but I was trying to do everything by myself, so I really didn't get much filming done. What I did learn is just be patient, go back and forth. I ended up setting all of the front parameters and distortion settings on the front channels, and then went ahead and switched and did the rear channels and then the sub. I found on the fronts and the rears, I wound up using the crossover setting in the head unit. So I set the amps the way I wanted them, where they were clipping just almost, and then turned on my crossovers in the head unit, and then I was able to get a bit more out of them. Definitely a lot stronger, a lot more powerful. One thing I'll say about these Rockford amps, they have a clip indicator on them, both with the gain and the punch EQ settings, and man, that stuff is close. It is almost identical with this distortion detector. So good feature that Rockford's added to these amps, and that's how they were set before, but I'll show some photos of the before and after settings. And again, just playing with the head unit, the outputs, different settings, I was able to squeeze a bit more out of this system, and it's certainly got enough to carry me down the road. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.
Looking for someone like you to save me. Life's too easy to be so damn complicated. Take your time and I'll be waiting. Keep me in mind.